Hey, Rachel, did you see the photo I sent you earlier today?
Hi, Mark. Was it Sarah's test results? Yes, I saw them. Getting a perfect score is amazing for a fourth grader. I'm really impressed. I'm so proud of her.
It's pretty incredible. She even got the bonus question right.
She's always been smart, but these scores are something else.
I wasn't sure about having a tutor at first, but these scores are really encouraging.
I told you Brandon would be worth it. Do you remember how worried you were about the cost?
Well, tutors aren't cheap, especially for medical students.
But look at the results. Every penny spent is worth it when she's doing this really well.
That's true, though I still think the hourly rate is steep for a student tutor.
The tutor was definitely worth hiring. She's been doing so well since Brandon started coming over. At this rate, she'll definitely pass the entrance exams.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. The real exams are still months away.
But with scores like these, how can you not be excited?
How many hours is he spending with her each week now?
Usually 3 sessions, about 2 hours each. He's very thorough with the material.
That seems like a lot of time. Wasn't it just 2 sessions when we started? Why is it 3 sessions now?
He suggested adding another session. He said it would help with the exam preparation.
And you agreed without discussing it with me? Of course he'd say that.
I didn't think it would be an issue. You're always saying how education is important.
That's quite a bit of time. Are we sure it's not too much pressure on her? Is she getting enough rest?
It's not too much pressure at all. Brandon knows exactly how to pace the lessons so she won't feel overwhelmed. He's really good at explaining things to her. Why wouldn't I be excited? The results speak for themselves.
Isn't it a bit early to say that? We both know the actual exam is still a long way off. Nothing's guaranteed, Rachel.
I know, but can't a mother be excited about her daughter's progress? This is huge.
Of course you can be. I just don't want us getting ahead of ourselves.
You worry too much. Brandon says she's way ahead of where she needs to be.
Did he tell you that during or after the lesson?
What do you mean?
I'm just curious about when you discuss these things with him.
It's usually after the lessons. We go over her progress and everything they did.
You seem to talk to Brandon quite a bit about these things.
Well, I'm here during the lessons. It would be weird not to talk, right?
I suppose, though most parents just check in briefly at the end.
Are you suggesting I shouldn't be involved in our daughter's education?
That's not what I meant.
Just what?
I get where you're coming from.
Well, aren't you convinced now? Can we keep Brandon as her tutor? Please?
Have you already discussed extending his contract?
Not officially, but he mentioned he'd be happy to continue teaching her.
Was that during another after-lesson chat?
Why do you keep focusing on when we talk? Does it matter?
Just trying to understand the arrangement better, that's all.
There's nothing to understand. He's Sarah's tutor, that's all.
I mean, the results speak for themselves. If it's working, I don't see why not. Just checking, though. Sarah's still okay with it, right?
Oh, she's totally fine with it. She actually enjoys more than studying alone. Just look at her grades.
But is she happy with how he teaches things? That's what I'm asking.
Of course she's happy. Why wouldn't she be?
You know, grades aren't everything. How's she doing otherwise, like her personal time?
What do you mean?
She seems different lately, much quieter.
She's probably tired from all the studying.
Good grades don't always mean she's enjoying it. Haven't you noticed she seems down lately? I thought maybe she wasn't getting along with the tutor.
There's nothing to worry about. If anything, Brandon's a college student, so he's like a big brother to her.
Since when does she need a big brother?
That's not what I meant. He just relates well to kids.
You keep calling him Brandon. Wasn't it Mr. Lee before?
Oh, he asked us to call him Brandon. Says Mr. Lee makes him feel old.
I see. That's a bit casual for a tutor, isn't it?
Times have changed. Not everyone needs to be so formal these days.
Maybe, but there should still be some professional boundaries.
You're being old-fashioned. Brandon's very professional. He's a very good tutor.
Professional people usually keep their titles as Mr. and Ms., not by their first names.
Are you really gonna argue about what we call him?
I suppose not. Still, it's pretty impressive that he manages this while handling med school.
He actually told me today that he's tutoring because his family doesn't have much money. He's working his way through school and he's doing such a great job with Sarah.
How did that come up in conversation?
Just chatting after the lesson. He's really dedicated to his studies.
You seem to know a lot about his personal life.
He's just open about these things. There's nothing wrong with that.
It makes me feel lazy in comparison. When I was in college, I was definitely more focused on having fun. It's admirable to see young people working so hard. Makes me want to step up my game. I feel like I need to do better.
Plus, he's so handsome. Great build, too. Nothing like you. LOL.
That's an odd thing to notice about our daughter's tutor. That's weird, Rachel.
I have eyes, don't I? Just stating facts.
Since when do you pay attention to tutor's appearances and how his body is built?
It was just an observation. Don't be so sensitive.
Ouch! Didn't have to go there. That actually hurts.
Why are you competing with someone half your age? You're my husband, aren't you? There is no point in comparing yourself to others.
You brought it up, not me. But yeah, you're right. Sorry, I shouldn't have said anything.
Don't be so sensitive. I'm just teasing you.
It's a very weird thing to tease about.
You're making this weird, not me.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But wait, if studying isn't the issue, why has Sarah been so down lately? School problems, maybe? Has she told you anything?
I haven't noticed anything wrong. You're probably overthinking it. She's been fine with me.
She never really talks during dinner anymore. That's weird of her.
I think she's just focused on her studies. That's good, isn't it? I don't think it's weird. Has she mentioned anything about fighting with friends or anything?
Not really. She's just been quiet lately.
She's just growing up. Girls get moody at this age. A lot of them go through things.
This feels different than that, though.
Different how?
Like she's keeping something to herself. Like she's hiding something. Not that I've heard anything from her. Maybe I should ask her when I get home. She's usually still up around 9, right?
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Why not? She's my daughter, too.
She's at that age, you know. Girls don't like their dads hovering too much.
Since when is talking to my daughter hovering? I just want to make sure she's okay.
I know, but trust me on this. She needs her space sometimes.
When did you become such an expert on what Sarah needs?
I'm her mother. I know these things.
You think so?
If I were Sarah, I'd hate it. If you're worried, I can ask her about it. Just leave it to me.
You've been saying that a lot lately. Leave it to me. I want to be able to understand her better.
Because you're making problems where there aren't any. Everything's fine.
If everything's fine, why can't I talk to her?
Why are you being so insistent about this?
Because she's my daughter and I'm worried about her.
You don't need to be. I've got everything under control.
Well, if you say so. Thanks for handling it, even though it's extra work for you.
It's not work at all. Brandon makes everything easier.
There you go, mentioning Brandon again. What's going on?
What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing, it's just an observation.
You're being weird today. Is work stressing you out?
Maybe. I'm sorry if I'm overthinking things.
No problem. Now get back to work.
Will do. Is Sarah home from school yet?
Yes, she's studying in her room.
Right. Tell Sarah I'll try to be home for dinner.
Actually, we might eat early today. Brandon's coming for an early session.
Again? Wasn't he just there yesterday?
Sarah needs all the help she can get, right?
That's 3 days in a row now. She needs to rest too, you know.
He had some free time in his schedule.
How convenient.
What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing. Just seems like there's been a lot of sessions. I guess, but make sure she's getting enough rest too. It's important at her age.
Stop worrying. Everything's under control.
If you say so. I'll message later. Bye. Hey, Sarah, can you tell Rachel to check her phone?
Dad, what's up? Do you need to talk to Mom?
I've been trying to reach her for the past hour. Is everything okay at home? Sarah, where are you right now? Are you home?
I'm at the park.
Why are you there? Sarah, you can tell me what's going on.
I don't want to get in trouble.
You won't get in trouble, sweetie, I promise.
Really? Promise?
Really promise. Daddy just wants to make sure that you're okay. And I'm going to be late tonight because of work. I tried messaging her, but she's not responding. Aren't you with her? You're not? Where's Mom?
Mom's at home studying with Brandon.
Studying? That's odd. Your session wasn't scheduled for today, I thought.
Brandon comes over a lot now.
What do you mean by a lot? She told me you guys increased your sessions.
He comes over almost every day.
What? Every day? Since when?
Since last month, I think.
And where are you during these sessions?
Usually here, at the park.
Why do you go to the park? Hey, can you tell Mom to call me right away?
I can't. I'm not allowed inside. I have to study at the park until Mom comes to get me.
What do you mean you're not allowed inside? Of the house?
Mom says I need to study somewhere quiet.
Wait, what? Mom told you to stay out? It's getting late.
She says I concentrate better here.
How long have you been at the park today?
Since after school.
That was hours ago. Have you eaten anything?
Yeah, I have some snacks in my backpack.
How long has this been happening?
Since I saw them.
You saw them? What exactly did you see, Sarah?
I don't want to say. Mom will be mad at me.
Sarah, honey, you can tell me anything. I won't let Mom be mad at you, I promise.
Promise you won't be mad at me either?
I promise I won't be mad at you. Never at you.
They were hugging, but not like you and Mom hug.
What do you mean? Can you explain a little bit more?
Like in the movies, when people kiss.
I see. Thank you for telling me that. You're very brave.
Are you mad?
Not at you, sweetheart. Never at you. I'm not mad.
Your messages look angry, though.
I'm just worried about you. Are you cold? Are you okay?
Just a little.
I understand. I'm coming to get you right now. You're at the park near the house, right?
Yeah, but are you sure? What about work? Aren't you busy?
Some things are more important than work, like you. Are you warm enough?
Yeah, I have my jacket. But Dad?
Yes?
Mom said not to tell you about the park.
And did she say why?
She said that you would understand.
You did the right thing telling me. Is there anything else you want to tell me?
There is, actually. I miss how things used to be.
What do you mean by that, sweetie?
When we all had dinner together.
Work's done for today. Don't worry about that. Would you rather have me not come get you?
No, I want you to. I'm always alone until Mom comes. I'd be really happy if you picked me up.
How often does Mom leave you at the park?
Whenever Brandon comes over.
And that's almost every day now?
Yes, sometimes twice a day.
I'm glad to hear that. Hey, want to stay at Grandma and Grandpa's tonight?
Really? Can we? But I don't have any clothes or anything. And what about Mom?
We can buy you clothes on the way to their house. And don't worry about Mom, I'll handle it. This'll be our little secret, okay?
Will Mom be angry? I don't want her to be mad at me.
Let me worry about that. You've been so strong.
I tried studying hard, even at the park.
I know you did. You're amazing. You really are.
Even without a tutor?
Especially without a tutor. You're brilliant all on your own.
Brandon says I need him to pass the exams.
That's not true at all. You're incredibly smart.
Okay, I'll wait for you at the park then.
I'm about 15 minutes away. Stay where I can see you when I pull up.
I will. I'm on the bench near the swings.
Perfect. I'll be there soon.
Hey, Dad, are you close?
I'm just a few minutes away. Can you see the street from where you are?
Yes, I'm watching for your car.
Good girl. Stay safe. Almost there. Hey, Rachel. Sarah's not with you, is she?
What? Aren't you at work?
Don't play games. Where's our daughter?
What are you talking about? She's studying in her room, obviously. What time do you think it is?
Are you still lying? Even now? How can you do that?
Mark, you're scaring me. What's going on?
Funny, you weren't scared when our daughter was alone in the park.
I'm not lying. She's in her room studying.
Oh, really? Then I guess the person right next to me right now isn't Sarah?
What do you mean she's right next to you?
I found her at the park, alone, again.
How did you?
She called me, crying. She was so cold.
She wasn't supposed to.
She wasn't supposed to do what? Tell me she's been abandoned?
Mark, look, I can explain.
That's my line. Why are you lying about this?
I'm not. I just...
You just what? Just leaving our daughter alone while you're with Brandon?
I just needed some private time. That's it.
Private time with Brandon?
How dare you suggest?
How dare I? How dare you?
No, you don't understand.
I found her alone in the park, Rachel. Alone! She was so cold! Sarah called me, so I picked her up. We're at my parents' house now. We're spending the night here tonight.
Ah, thank goodness. I went to get her from the park, but she wasn't there. I was worried.
Worried? Now you're worried? After leaving her alone for hours? You told her to go to the park and wait there.
It wasn't ours.
She called me around 6. Why was our daughter alone in the park at that time? Sarah told me you made her leave the house while the tutor was still there.
She wasn't alone the whole time.
Don't. Just don't. I don't want to hear anything.
I just needed to discuss something important with Brandon. It was just temporary.
Important enough to abandon our daughter in the cold?
I didn't abandon her. She was fine.
Fine, fine, she was terrified.
She knows the park well.
That's your excuse? If it was just talking, why did she need to leave?
It wasn't something a child should hear.
What kind of conversation do you need to have with a tutor that a child can't hear? And Sarah said this happens every time he comes over. Are you having these important conversations that often?
You don't understand.
Then help me understand. Why does our daughter have to study in the park? Your silence says everything. That's all I needed.
It's not what you think. Don't make it sound like I did something wrong.
Sending our 4th grade daughter to study alone in a park isn't wrong? You can't possibly think that.
She's mature for her age. She can handle it.
Handle what? Your affair? Is that it?
That's not.
But you did more than that, didn't you? That's why you've been sending Sarah away.
Yes, sending her out that late was wrong. But don't just make assumptions. Nothing inappropriate is happening with me and Brandon.
Nothing inappropriate? Is that why Sarah saw you embracing?
What? She told you about that.
Did you think she wouldn't tell me?
That wasn't what it looked like.
So it's true then?
That was just... He was helping me when I stumbled. Sarah just misunderstood what she saw. She's still so young, she doesn't know anything.
A stumble! That's the best you can come up with?
Yes, I almost fell and...
Then why start sending her outside to the park in the cold?
Listen, believe what you want. But why won't you believe me?
Because I believe in our daughter. Whatever she tells me, I believe it. I know she won't lie about something like this.
She's just a child. She doesn't understand.
She understands enough to know something's wrong. Because there's no reason to. Suddenly calling him by his first name, always defending him. It's because you're having an affair, isn't it? And you're choosing him over our daughter. What's wrong with you?
You're jumping to conclusions.
Am I? Then explain why our daughter has been miserable. She was terrified.
She hasn't been miserable. She's been doing well at school.
At what cost?
Wait, you're not talking about divorce, are you? We have Sarah to think about. That can't happen.
Now you're thinking about Sarah after everything?
We can work this out. We can find a new tutor. I'll end things with Brandon.
Unbelievable. Even now you're only thinking about yourself. How dare you? Of course we're getting divorced.
If that's how it has to be, at least promise you won't do anything to hurt Brandon. If you promise that, I'll agree to the divorce.
You're actually trying to protect him after what you both did?
He has a whole future ahead of him.
And Sarah doesn't? So you're finally admitting to the affair.
Well, you clearly believe Sarah, and I know you won't doubt her, so yes. But please, don't hurt Brandon. I'll take full responsibility.
Let me get this straight. You admit to having an affair, but your biggest concern is protecting him? Not even your daughter? After you left her outside in the cold for such a long time?
You don't understand what's at stake.
Oh, I understand perfectly. You chose him over our family, your own daughter. Who do you think you are? Both of you are at fault here.
Please, just listen to me for a minute.
After all your lies, why should I?
Because you're not thinking clearly.
I've done enough listening to your lies.
I know I messed up. I know that.
Do you? Do you really?
Yes, I know what I did was wrong.
Messed up? You destroyed our family!
That's not fair. We can still be a family.
How? How can we ever go back?
I know I hurt you, but
Hurt me? What about Sarah? Don't you think she was hurt?
I know that. But Brandon's a struggling student. He has student loans. I don't want to cause him trouble.
Of course, your first thought is still about him.
He doesn't deserve to have his life ruined.
So you admit to the affair but want to protect him?
He has his whole future ahead of him.
What about Sarah's future? Did either of you think about that?
Sarah will be fine. She's strong.
She shouldn't have to be strong. She's 10 years old.
You don't understand the pressure he's under.
Pressure? He's sleeping with a married woman.
I know I'm being a terrible mother. But I want to support Brandon. He's going to be a doctor. If you want compensation, I'll pay it all. Isn't that enough?
You really think money fixes this?
What else do you want from me?
How about remorse? Real remorse, not just worry about your boyfriend.
He's not just...
Not just what? Not just the man you chose over your daughter?
You're twisting everything.
Am I? Tell me one thing I've said that isn't true.
That's not fair.
Fair? You want to talk about fair?
I made mistakes, but Brandon didn't mean for any of this to happen.
Didn't mean to? He knew exactly what he was doing.
He was just trying to help Sarah.
Help her by traumatizing her?
We never meant for her to see anything.
But she did, and instead of stopping, you sent her away.
It wasn't like that.
Then what was it like? Explain it to me.
I can't.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. I never thought you could be this terrible of a person.
Say whatever you want about me. But please, Brandon didn't do anything wrong.
Nothing wrong. He had an affair with a married woman and helped abuse her child.
Abuse? We never.
What do you call sending your daughter to study alone in a park in the cold?
We were just...
Just what? Having your affair while our daughter sat alone?
No, please understand.
Understand what? That you both chose yourselves over her?
It wasn't supposed to happen like this.
How was it supposed to happen?
I don't know. It just...
Are you kidding? You're both at fault here. I'm not only going to demand compensation, I'm also reporting this to the university. You both deserve whatever comes next.
No, please don't. He works so hard. Don't ruin his future.
His future? What about Sarah's future? What about her trust?
I'll do anything. Please, just don't report him. But I said I'd pay it all. Why do you have to hurt Brandon too?
Because he hurt my daughter! What better reason does a parent need? I need to protect my daughter! Unlike you, I care about her!
He never meant to hurt anyone.
But he did.
What if I gave you full custody of Sarah?
You think I'd let you have custody after this?
I could still see her sometimes.
After what you've done?
Please, I'm begging you. He's so young. Don't take away his future.
His age makes it worse. He knew exactly what he was doing.
He was just trying to get through school.
By sleeping with his student's mother, that's his excuse?
You don't understand how hard it's been for him.
For him? What about how hard it's been for Sarah?
I'll make it up to her. I promise.
How? By choosing him over her again?
That's not what I'm doing.
Really? Because that's all you've done since he started tutoring.
I made mistakes, but
But what? You're still defending him.
he doesn't deserve to lose everything.
Neither did our family.
Please reconsider.
If you really cared about his future, you shouldn't have had an affair. You both destroyed your own futures. Now deal with the consequences. Have fun supporting him through all this.
What do you mean?
Think about it. No medical school, no career, just debt.
You can't do this.
I'm not doing anything. You did this. Both of you.
At least let me talk to Sarah.
Absolutely not. You lost that right.
She's still my daughter.
A daughter you abandoned for your affair.
I never abandoned her.
The park bench says otherwise.
I can change. I can be better.
Too little, too late.
What am I supposed to do now?
That's not my problem anymore.
Can I at least say goodbye?
Do you really think that's best for her?
I'm still her mother.
A mother who chose her daughter's tutor over her.
Will you ever forgive me?
That's not up to me anymore. It's up to Sarah.
Please. Just don't tell Brandon's university.
Every single time you defend him first.
Because I know what this will do to him.
But you didn't know what you were doing to Sarah?
That's different.
You're right, it is different. He's an adult who made his choices. Sarah was a child who trusted you.
I'll do anything. Please.
It's done. I've already contacted the university.
You did what?
They're very interested in the ethics of their medical students.
How could you do that? How dare you?
How could I? How could you?
You ruined everything.
No, you did that to yourself. Both of you. I'm just making sure there are consequences.
What happens now?
Now? Now you'll live with what you've done and stay away from Sarah.
You can't keep her from me forever.
Watch me.